told I had to wear them inside.
No, we're not. March 1st.
You did?
Yeah.
Tom Book?
That's Irish love, right?
Sit next to me, Governor. How are you, sir? Nice to see you, man.
Thanks so much. Doing well. We appreciate you guys coming.
I get to sit with you.
Hey, County Executive, good to see you.
Just got to see what the
Glad to
lineup
be
is.
here. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Ruth. I'm gonna wait, Kurt. Just a couple minutes, just because we That's exciting. Even if there was an issue, the fact that you're watching. Yeah, that was good, man. It's a good one. Yeah, I wish I had that. Yeah, I will. We used to have it. It's, and I look at the trajectory of our ratings over the past like 30 or 40 years. It's so sad. The lack of discipline.
Yeah.
So,
You got it.
Yes, in Fairlawn? Just talking about the Ukrainian population here. So we have just under 75,000 of the state. I think Bergen is among the biggest. You know, it is whatever, but it's on the several hundred. Yeah.
What's going on is just a shame.
It's awful.
What's happened to humanity there is just awful.
But surely there's some.
Good morning, how are you, Governor?
Welcome to Fairlawn. Appreciate it. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fairlawn. It's so great to see so many people. I know we have a lot of frequent flyers here, so it's great to welcome you all here again. If you don't mind, we just want to take a quick moment of silence to recognize everyone in Ukraine. Thank you. Just so everyone knows, we'll be doing a clothing drive here in the borough of Fairlawn on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have a very strong Ukrainian population here, and we want them to all know that they have our support. We're just so welcome to welcome the governor, lieutenant governor, our county executive, and the treasurer here in Fairlawn, as well as many other dignitaries that I know the governor will recognize. The governor has been a great supporter of our borough. He's always been in easy contact with us, and we greatly appreciate his support. Just one quick story. We had in Fairlawn during COVID, we actually had more businesses open than closed. And we had a lot of new businesses that needed financial support that didn't originally qualify. Sent a quick message to the governor, him and his team reached out, and they helped support our local businesses here in Fairlawn. I also want to say congratulations on the recent bond upgrade. We're very excited to have a few here in Fairlawn. Recently became a AAA bond upgrade. And we know that's it. We know the state will be following suit. And we're really happy and excited to hear any news that helps with support for all our residents. So with that, well, to welcome Governor Murphy.
Thank you, Kurt. It is great to be back in Fair Lawn. A community, Lisa probably knows this better than anything because she was the mayor when I first started kicking the tires on running for governor, but I've been here a lot and I love it, including we did a 5K, which feels like 5 years ago, but it wasn't. Great to be back. Love it here. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, your Deputy Mayor, Christina Cutrone, another dear friend, members of the Borough Council, always so gracious in welcoming us here and today in the Borough Chambers. Also honored, as you said, to be joined 4 days in a row, Sheila. We have to stop meeting like this. Our incredible Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Y. Oliver, is in the house. We don't do a lot of, yeah, let's go. Let's go. The treasurer and I don't do a lot of events together, but when we do them together, they are meaningful. And today is that ilk. So Treasurer Liz Moyo is here, and she and her team. This is, if you're an accountant leading up to April 15th, it's the busy season. If you're the treasurer of the state of New Jersey and it's leading up to the budget speech on Tuesday, it's very busy season. So thank you for coming out. The extraordinary county executive, Jim Tedesco, is with us. Jim, thank you for everything you do. Lisa, the aforementioned Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, great to be with you, Lisa. The guy 2 seats to your left who looks very familiar to me, just kidding, Commissioner Tom Sullivan, one of the great guys, and and a great labor leader in addition to being a terrific commissioner. And Terry Tucker's in the house. Terry, come on. Before I jump into why we're here today, a couple of topics that are a little bit off topic, and Kurt has alluded to both of them. First, Ukraine, just to reiterate the horror of this war of choice. Russia, sadly for the Russian people, is led by a thug who runs a kleptocracy and is murdering innocent Ukrainians by, sadly, it looks by the hundreds, especially over the past couple of days. There's just no excuse for this. New Jersey will stand strongly by the Ukrainian people and by Ukraine. We'll fly their flags. We'll take the refugees. I sent a letter to President Biden yesterday saying, just as we did with the Afghan refugees, we're raising our hand to take any in New Jersey. We have among the largest population of any American state. We're just under 75,000. I think only New York, California, and Pennsylvania is slightly ahead of us. The Ukrainian Orthodox North American Church headquarters are in New Jersey. My wife and I attended a vigil the other night. So on behalf of Sheila and Liz and the rest of our government, we will stand tall. I signed an executive order yesterday which orders all of state government to sever any ties with any Russian entities. I want to give Paul Sarlo, Bergen County's own, a big shout out for sponsoring a bill that would have a similar effect, but in our investments, through our pension funds. We will not waver. We will stay at this. We're working, and my wife Tammy is a part of this. We're working in government to work with other organizations. The Consul General from Ukraine, I spoke to their ambassador a couple of days ago, just before she sat with First Lady Jill Biden for the State of the Union speech. We're trying to get humanitarian goods over there. I'd like to send tanks. I hope somebody else is doing that, and anti-aircraft and all the other stuff, weapons that are being delivered. That's above New Jersey's pay grade. But we will stand firm. And let me just also make one other point. We're not here to discuss Ukraine, even though it may feel that way. I think if you abstain, if you're silent right now, you're complicit. Period. There's blood on your hands. So I don't know if it's true or not. I don't think the New York Times would have reported it if it weren't true, but there's no source. But apparently the Chinese asked Putin to hold off. They were given details of the war, so they knew that, Holocaust survivors would be bombed by the Russians. Just think about that for a second. They went through hell once, they're not going through hell again. But the Chinese knew what was going to happen, and all their ask was to postpone the beginning of the war until after the Olympics. You got to be kidding me. My dad told me the story growing up I think it was Sacco and Vanzetti. Those are the two names that ring a bell, where there was a bank robbery where the guys who went in the bank had guns and killed at least somebody. The driver was outside, unarmed, never went in the bank, was also sent to the electric chair. That's what we're talking about. If you're silent, if you're abstaining, right now, you are guilty as hell. We cannot let people who are silent and abstaining get away with it, never mind Vladimir Putin. Now, another off-topic and a happier note, as Kurt alluded to, especially with the treasurer, with Sheila and me today, have to address yesterday's upgrade of our state's credit rating by Moody's. This is proof positive that our efforts to restore New Jersey's fiscal house are working. This work of rebuilding trust in our state's financial future has not been easy. Let's not forget that we inherited a state 4 years ago that had received 11 consecutive credit rating downgrades under the prior administration. Liz and her team deserve a huge amount of credit and thanks for the way they have been managing our finances day in and day out. And I also want to thank the legislature for all the work that we have done together. Sheila, you'd want me to do that, and it is absolutely the case to get us to this point. We're getting New Jersey back to the space that we used to live in. I was saying to Kurt, I looked at the trajectory of upgrades and downgrades in the last 30 years have been tragic. We were AAA. We were as highly rated as Fairlawn one time, and I hope one day again we can be. We used to be a state recognized and respected for sound finances, smart budgets, and being a safe investment. And we're getting back to being that state again, I'm proud to say. Listen, I'm thrilled about it, but it's one upgrade. So we still have a lot of work to do to undo the decades of downgrades that have stretched across administrations, frankly, of both parties. I'd say that work starts now, but the truth is we haven't stopped since day one when we took office, and we will continue to work at this. So again, Liz, congratulations. And as we always do after we present the budget, you and I will sit with the rating agencies and walk them through. Now, at long last, for the reason that we're all here, 45 years ago, one of my predecessors and a dear friend who's since passed, Governor Bergen, delivered to New Jerseyans the first ever direct property tax relief provided by the Homestead Rebate Program. But over the ensuing years, inconsistent funding and constantly changing rules have led many to never really fully know whether they qualified for a rebate, how much it would be, or when it would arrive. The time has come to recognize that continuing to rewrite the Homestead program renders its meaning to more and more families meaningless. Continuing along this path is no longer tenable. So in my budget address this coming Tuesday, I will formally put forward a renewed commitment to direct property tax relief to our households, regardless, by the way, of whether they own or rent, a total of $900 million for nearly 1.8 million homeowners and renters. We are calling this the Anchor Property Tax Relief Program because every good program needs an acronym. Anchor formally stands for Affordable New Jersey Communities for Homeowners and Renters. I like that, I have to say. But in reality, we want this to mean lasting relief that keeps families in their homes. They want relief that will allow them to anchor themselves in the communities they love, just like here in Fairlawn. Through Anchor, some 1.15 million homeowners with incomes of up to $250,000 will qualify for direct property tax relief. Additionally, more than 600,000 renters with incomes up to $100,000 will also be eligible for direct relief to offset the rent increases that they've been facing over the past years. For homeowners, relief this year will average nearly $700. For renters, it will be up to $250. Now, with the average property tax bill in New Jersey just under $10,000, $700 is over 7% reduction in property taxes. Those words have never been spoken in the past 3 decades. Over the next 2 years, this is what I feel like I'm in the Ginsu knife commercial. Wait, there's more. Over the next 2 years, we will continue to invest in Anchor so it meets the levels of relief promised back in 2007. Put another way, Anchor will represent the first time in nearly 20 years that we will fully fund direct property tax relief. So that $900 million, 2 years from now, is $1.5 billion in direct property tax relief. This is a little bit reminiscent of the school funding formula that when we inherited and started, when Sheila and I got here, had been unfunded for the previous 8 years. So we are in the midst of a 7-year program. The budget next week will be year 5 out of 7 to fully fund our public schools at record levels, I might add. It's also, I think, a little reminiscent of our pension obligation, where we committed each of those years 1/10 more to get to what we promised we would do. We got there last year a year or two early. I won't make news, but I suspect you'll think it's good news when you hear it next Tuesday about pension payments in addition to school funding formulas. This is another unkept promise from the past. This is a formula, actually. The property tax rebate was supposed to be at levels that it was only at for 1 year, back in 2007. We have said on this one again, enough already. We're going to live up to our word. We're going to deliver what we said we would deliver, and we will re-earn trust now, not just in school funding or in pension payments, but now in property tax relief. And by the way, that $700 that on average you'll get this year, 2 years from now when we fully fund this thing, that number will be $1,150. So if a property tax bill on average stays at around 10%, or God willing, we keep it under that, that's an 11 or 12% reduction in your property tax bill. More than 5 million New Jerseyans live in a household set to receive relief through Anchor. So this is relief that will provide greater protection from property taxes, and this is relief that will allow those folks to stay in their homes. It will make life right here, Kurt, for Fair Lawn's middle-class families and seniors, and those across the state, more affordable. For a qualified homeowner right here in Fair Lawn, for example, the impact of Anchor will be to kick the effective property tax impact back to what they paid in 2018 or maybe even earlier. I've repeated often that New Jersey is the best state in America to live in and to raise a family. And Fair Lawn is a wonderful representation of this belief. Strong public schools, tight-knit neighborhoods, effective county and local government. We don't want property taxes to force families out of great communities like this. I take great pride, I know Sheila joins me in all that our administration has done to invest in our schools and communities to offset the drivers of higher property taxes by taking some of the weight off of property taxpayers. And we have made strides, even before today and even before this program. Our administration has presided over the lowest year-to-year increases in property taxes on record. But as I said in my State of the State address, I'm not going to be satisfied by merely slowing the rate of growth. While we continue this work, we will deliver direct relief to effectively undo years of property tax increases. I have to give a couple of shout-outs. One, Speaker Craig Coughlin, who Sheila and I sat with yesterday, for his partnership in the 14 middle class and senior and working family tax cuts that we've enacted so far, as well as his fervent commitment to and focus on property tax relief. And then separately also exchanged good notes with new Senate President Nick Scuteri last night. I'm looking forward as well to working with him on this, because I know that he shares our commitment to property tax relief across the board. I'll obviously have more to say about the Anchor Direct Property Tax Relief Program on Tuesday, but we couldn't wait, which is why we're here today. I'm excited to start this new chapter of property tax relief. Homestead has had a good run, and we thank it for its service, but now is the time for greater and more permanent relief, and it's time we allow more families to drop anchor in their homes and communities. Thank you all again for hosting me, as always, so graciously. Please help me welcome my partner in government, as well as the Commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs, which is right in the middle of all this, the extraordinary Lieutenant Governor Sheila Y. Oliver.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in Fair Lawn in the great county of Bergen. And the county exec knows that I come from a big county, too, the county of Essex. And we are always in competition with the county of Bergen. But you have a great county. I love your parks. You do a great job with community engagement in the county, and you hold the record for having the most towns. And you certainly know that at DCA, we deal with all of them through our Division of Local Government Services, and at least it's good to see you and all of you. One thing I'd like to say, when the governor, when Kurt made mention of the governor providing support to businesses in Fair Lawn, I always knew the healthy small business community you had here. Former Senator Bob Gordon really familiarized me with Fair Lawn, with the residential neighborhoods, et cetera. And when I needed a roof some years ago, he put me in touch with the Carlson brothers. And the Carlson brothers have been in Fair Lawn probably close to 100 years. So anyone that knows them, let them know that roof is solid. Thank you. So I always, when someone says Fair Lawn to me, I say Carlson brothers. But I want to thank the governor and Treasurer Moya and the mayor and the council members for hosting us today. And it is no secret, as Governor Murphy said, that the number one concern that our residents express in New Jersey over and over again is the challenge in property taxes. And if you're in government long enough, as I have been, you develop a lot of relationships with our older adult population. And year after year, I can just think of getting phone calls from older adults that I've met through the years who ask me every year, Sheila, are we going to get a check? Are we going to get a check? And it heightens the consciousness of anyone that works in Trenton that we have to deliver some relief to our homeowners. We all know here in Fair Lawn, you've got older adults who their homes are paid for, but they're living on fixed incomes and they have to figure out a way to pay those taxes. And this is what Governor Murphy's development of the Anchor program is really a lot about. Governor, what I have to worry about, though, is once you are finished with this term, we're going to have to make certain that we encourage the legislature and the next governor of the state to keep that trajectory going. But this is a great start and a great foundation. We know that we want our older adults to age in place. We don't want them to worry about getting that tax bill. And we know that they're very responsible, even though it's a struggle for them. I know many older adults, and I'm sure it happens in town, they come to town hall personally to pay that tax bill. And I think this will be good news for them. The income thresholds that have been established in this program, I think, are great. Anyone making under $250,000 a year is going to be eligible, and this relief is going to be very welcome for the number of families that the governor alluded to. The administration is pledged to keep working class people in an affordability mode in this state, and we'll be doing a lot of things across the board to make sure that happens for communities. And at the Department of Citizen Services, you know that Governor Murphy appointed who we call our shared services czars. And they're Platt and Glatt, two former mayors. And they're a tag team, and they've worked with hundreds and hundreds of municipalities across the state. And we have a significant number of shared services agreements. And we know that this, too, is going to contribute to a reduction in property taxes. Through the czars program, we're working to explore and facilitate service sharing opportunities for municipalities. And at one period of time in New Jersey, municipalities were reluctant and hesitant to do this, but now they're stepping up because they know it's the right thing to do. So Governor Murphy, thank you for leading us in the direction. This is another feather in the cap, in my opinion, in the Murphy administration in fulfilling commitments that are made. I've been a relic in Trenton for quite a long time, and not many promises made, county executive, are kept. So thank you, Governor Murphy.
We're going to strike relic from the record, Sheila. Really well done. And the shared services czars is a point I was going to make. I'm glad you made it. These two guys, one Democrat, one Republican, run up and down the state, and they work with DCA more than any other branch of government, and they're really good, and they're really effective. Couple more speakers. Next up to bat is our treasurer, and Liz, importantly, when we first met, was a legislator, and a darn good one. And that experience in both the legislative branch and now the executive branch for the past 4+ years gives her a perspective and a skill set that is really unique in many respects. Sheila is the same way, right? So that's experience I didn't have. Marlene, I think it's Marlene, Caride, you two. Those are the three, I think, right? Doug Fisher, our agricultural. So, and you can tell it's very powerful. It's like being a mayor, having been a mayor and now being a legislator, Lisa. That adds a richness to your perspective that you otherwise wouldn't get. So those sort of multiple experiences, Tom's as a labor leader gives him a perspective as a commissioner that is incredibly powerful. And there are lots of examples like it. But please help me welcome our extraordinary treasurer at the busy season, Liz Moya.
And while we're giving a shout out to our home counties, I'm a proud resident of Mercer County in what I can confirm is Central Jersey. So I want to thank Governor Murphy. It's a pleasure to be with all of you today. And to have good news to deliver to the many hardworking New Jerseyans who've shouldered a heavy tax burden for so long. From day one, this administration has been committed to making New Jersey more affordable. And over the years, I'm proud to say that, along with our partners in the legislature, the Murphy administration has implemented numerous targeted tax cuts that have helped ease the tax burden for so many individuals and families in our state, providing relief to those who need it most. This includes expanding eligibility for the Earned Income Tax Credit, creating and expanding the Child and Dependent Care Credit, expanding senior freeze eligibility, doubling the veterans tax exemption to $6,000, and creating 3 new tax deductions to help students and families save and pay for college. Today, we're taking another significant step on our path towards making New Jersey stronger, fairer, and more affordable. The Anchor program will build upon and improve upon its predecessor, the current homestead benefit, by more than tripling the number of residents receiving property tax relief, totaling over 1 million homeowners and 600,000 renters, as the governor mentioned. And as he also mentioned, the plan calls for full funding by year 3, when we estimate qualified homeowners will receive tax relief averaging $1,150. As we look ahead to fiscal year 23, we will continue to build upon our commitment to affordability, fiscal responsibility, and economic growth. A balanced approach that includes taking the fiscally prudent steps that were noted, as the governor and mayor mentioned just yesterday, by Moody's when they awarded the state with a new ratings upgrade for the first time in almost 20 years. And we will continue working to ensure that our resources are invested in a way that ensures a more affordable and promising future for more New Jerseyans. Our goal is for New Jersey's next normal to be fairer for every household. This is a state brimming with opportunity, as you all know, and every resident deserves a chance to thrive. So we are tremendously proud of this game-changing commitment to provide more relief for our residents, and we look forward to sharing more details with you on a number of affordability initiatives when the governor provides his budget message next week. So thank you very much for having us here today.
Thank you. Yeah, we're giving a little bit of a tease here, both Liz and I. Stay tuned. There's more to come, including some cool ones, including some things that may not last forever, but address the here and now reality of inflation made even worse by this senseless war, especially with energy prices. Liz, thank you for everything, to you and your team. And again, it's not the easiest time for you to get out on the road, so thank you for being here today. I wish New Jersey could run like Bergen County. We're trying our best. It begins at the top with an extraordinary county executive. Please help me welcome the county executive of the county of Bergen, Jim Tedesco. Love you, man.
Thank you, Governor. Well, I'm batting cleanup. I may be the only cleanup batter you see this year with the things that are going on with Major League Baseball. So I'll hit the home run, and that'll be it for the rest of the year. But Governor, a lot of people have said through the years that I've been a mayor, a councilman, a freeholder, and now the county executive. What are you going to do about property taxes? Today, you did something about property taxes. It's not easy. And the things that you all just laid out on how to help people and make New Jersey affordable and keep people in New Jersey is critical. Bergen County, well, I may be a little bit, as far as my love for the county is the best county in the state of New Jersey. And I have a dear friend in Joe DiVincenzo, and I have a dear friend in Brian Hughes and Mercer, two other county executives. This is the biggest county in the state of New Jersey, almost 1 million people, 70 municipalities, and Lieutenant Governor, I'm proud to say here today that we have a shared service with every single 70 municipalities here in Bergen County. The county and every municipality has a shared service agreement. So we're working on that. And when you say, does that save money, and does it really work? It absolutely does. So we're here to support you in that, and we're here to continue to do those things. I understand the struggle that we all face with the price of groceries, gas, and housing costs going up. Inflation's hitting us, and it's hitting us hard. But we're going to hit back. It's important we continue to work to make sure that Bergen County residents and residents in all over New Jersey continues to be an affordable place to live, work, and raise a family. I applaud the governor and his administration for rolling out this new program today called Anchor. And while an anchor sometimes means that you're going to hold on, right? The boat's going to stay stable. Not this governor, not this administration. It's going to anchor the program, but it's going to allow us to move forward. So I applaud you for rolling out this program, which casts a wider net, providing relief for both renters and homeowners. Efforts like these will play an important role in helping Bergen County and New Jersey speed ahead as we emerge out of this pandemic into an endemic. Governor, I thank you for choosing Bergen County and Fairlawn to make this announcement today. I thank you for your commitment to the people of New Jersey, the people of Bergen County. Lieutenant Governor, Treasurer, thank you for doing this. Thank you for helping the people of New Jersey. You truly are making a difference in the lives of everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I love the, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong about batting cleanup, by the way. But baseball, you talk about shooting yourself in the foot. What are they doing? What are they thinking? Cannot thank you enough for your leadership, but also for those very powerful words. I just asked Kurt, is the housing market still hot here? He said it's still insane. So the census proved that the moving vans actually were moving a lot of people into New Jersey over the past decade. But for the past 2 years, since this pandemic, folks are tripping over themselves to get in here. And our job, when we say it's the #1 state in America to raise a family, a big part of that is great public schools, great healthcare systems, great quality of life, a location second to none, counties and communities that really work. But affordability is a big part of that. So now that they're coming here, we got to keep them here, and especially, and Sheila alluded specifically to this, if you're retired, your kids have graduated from our great public schools, you're on a fixed income, and you look at your property tax bill, and 53% of it, on average in New Jersey, is for public education, which you're proud of and you're happy to have paid into because your kids benefited from it. But if Johnny and Sally have graduated, we got to give those people in particular, they want to stay here, we got to give them a reason to stay here. Make sure the math works. And this program, Anchor, Affordable New Jersey Communities for Homeowners and Renters, is going to be a huge, huge element of keeping them, not just attracting folks here, but keeping folks here. As they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap. So, Mayor Kirk Peluso, County Executive Jim Tedesco, thank you for hosting us so graciously. Lieutenant Governor Sheila Y. Oliver, Liz Moyo, our great treasurer, to the dignitaries down front, thank you all. Have a great day.